Well, our community was very excited when we found out that the Franklin County Convention Facilities Authority was going to be expanding and renovating our convention center. That was really going to help us be very competitive in the market. And at the same time, we all had to take a deep look of, okay, how does that work? Because it was a major undertaking. And SMG obviously was at the table when those discussions were happening. And we could not afford, from an economic standpoint, to shut down our center. That would have been disastrous to what we were trying to accomplish in our community. When the decision was made to keep the building open during the renovation, a lot of our customers, particularly our annual customers, were very concerned because it was going to have an impact on their show. So their concerns were, if we have to shrink our show, how does this affect our financials? And also, we need to keep the dates that we have. And so there was a lot of anxiety within the community, but I have to say that SMG was able to sit down and work with everyone and find out how, in the different time frames, that the building could be condensed to get the renovation and expansion on track and on time.
We held our annual conference for middle level education here in Columbus, Ohio at the Greater Columbus Convention Center. And it's the largest organization serving teachers, principals, anybody who educates kids aged basically 9 through 15. So we met with not only John Page from SMG and his whole team, but also with the Convention Facilities Authority. And John had to put his neck out pretty far in order to convince us that everything was going to be okay. And I will say they flew our decorator in so that we could see what the new construction of the makeshift ballrooms that we did do in exhibit space that was existing. Joe Shaw with SMG was a shadow of mine. He often saw me wandering through the building. Because we're local, I had the ability to kind of walk and see the construction as it was going. And we made a promise at the very beginning that if at the end, when everything was said and done, I would be their biggest cheerleader. But everything turned out honestly better than expected. And I think that communication process, because of the construction and because of what was happening, really afforded us an even better relationship than we probably would have had otherwise.
Well, we had apprehensions, but we discussed them, and we again accommodated our schedules and our needs to those changed needs. But we know that the end product, which we'll be seeing in 2018, is going to be a much improved, much expanded facility, which we welcome, because we are in a growth mode, and our joint commitment has always been to do better than our previous best. And we've enjoyed that opportunity and have worked on it together. The festival concept, where we involve many sports and also a huge fitness exposition, why, that's been going on for 30 years. We've had great leadership from SMG and great professional staff throughout all these years. We've never had any complaints or reason to complain because of the great service we've received from that great team. Well, we'd be glad to mention Joe Shaw, because he was there longer than anybody I know of, and he is our day-to-day contact man and a tremendously responsive person. very competent. He knows the building from top to bottom. And I just had a discussion with him the other day. He's now in Florida on vacation, but I'm still bothering him in Florida, and he's returning my calls. So he's totally committed to supporting us. Has been a fantastic partner.
SMG was truly understanding of the type of work that had to be done, and it was more so us providing the education of how long the work was going to take place within each of the areas. Our superintendents had an open line to all of the SMG facilities managers here. I think it was a very enjoyable relationship because there was always something that came up and we would react to it because we knew that we had to satisfy their expectations at the end of the day.
Every year, there's this gathering of all of the international library associations. So in our world, it's a little bit of the Olympics of libraries, if you will. And so it comes to North America about every 7 to 10 years. And just knowing that we had an opportunity, we put in a bid for this and worked really hard with a lot of partners. And we're really pleased to have it awarded to come here to Columbus. And so we actually didn't know the convention center was going to be under construction when we initially signed up to bring it here. So I think there was some concern initially about what would happen. And I think really I credit the staff for working through all of those issues, not just ahead of time and making sure that we were communicated with and we understood what would happen, but when the event itself happened, when you get the entire team together for the kickoff event and you see everyone from the convention team, from the executives, the managers, all the way down to some of the key workers in specific areas, and then recognizing that this was not just a talk or a statement, this was a customer service philosophy that really permeated the entire team. And from large-scale activities like an opening ceremony and a closing ceremony to the individual meetings, they were just there every step of the way, and I really would give them an A+ on their service to us. For Columbus, this was our one shot, and I don't think it would have happened here without the dedication and, again, the promises made, promises kept to keep this venue open to be able to host a successful worldwide event.
All the team members from the center, SMG, lined the pathway from the hotel over to the center. So as my team came through, the anticipation was building, walking to the party, and they were greeted by a whole line of team members cheering and clapping, giving them high fives on the way to the center, and that set an amazing tone.
So with Columbus, we're very proud to say that through a lot of research and a lot of community input, we've come up with a brand essence of being smart and open. And everything we do, we try to look through that lens of smart and open. And through the renovation and quite honestly, through the last number of years that SMG's been in our community and a tremendous partner, working with John and Sue and everyone at SMG, they've continued to also mirror that smart and open. So again, it goes back to the type of people and the passion and advocacy they have with service and knowledge and really that customer care.